I'm here in Camdenton, where an officer-involved shooting occurred just right behind me on the corner of Osage Avenue and Iowa Street. Residents in the area told me that they were shocked about the events that occurred here. Concealed carry is just one of the many ways that Missouri citizens can carry firearms in public. But as of now, weapons are not allowed on public transportation. A bill moving through the Missouri legislature could change all that. An amendment passed in the Zoning and Planning Commission in September, but the council set it back in November. I'm at the Scruggs University Center on Lincoln's campus, where buses started running just yesterday. The shuttles will run weekdays from 5 to 8 p.m. from Scruggs University Center. They'll make stops off campus at Walmart and Target on Stadium Boulevard. The House Fiscal Review Committee passed legislation that would restrict biological men and women from playing sports with the opposite sex. Students in private and public schools grades 6 through college could not compete together. The only exception to the rule is when a female sport is not offered at a school. One lawmaker told me that athletes should be separated by their sex after certain ages, as stated in the bill.
If they want to have a separate division for transgender, that's great. But to have them compete on an equal footing with girls after they reach puberty, it's just not there. It's just not correct.
Another legislator told me that there is simply no need to have this kind of legislation.
Most of these bills are continuing to stigmatize our LGBTQ community and the effects of that, and just the idea that it's going after transgender youth, almost as though we're trying to erase their identities, which is so harmful.
This legislation comes at a time when Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey announced a temporary rule to halt any new gender-affirming care in the state until February 6th of next year. The bill will now move forward onto a formal third reading on the House floor, which has not been scheduled yet.
The Missouri Senate Transportation Committee voted to pass a House bill that would expand gun rights in the state. It would allow concealed carry firearms on public transportation with a permit. This bill has advocacy groups, both for and against gun rights, deeply divided on the issue. One man in favor of the bill says if you are properly trained, you should be able to carry your weapon.
If you've gone through the concealed carry training, they emphasize you are not the police. There are no long-range shots. You don't brandish your gun. You sit there quietly.
On the other hand, one opponent says measures like this create uncertainty for Missourians.
The reality is that putting more guns in more hands is not making us safe. I mean, I think we've seen over the past several decades in Missouri the result of this experiment of putting more guns in more hands with no training and no questions asked has made us less safe.
For now, the bill is expected to go to a third reading in the Senate, which has yet to be scheduled.
The historic George Washington Carver School has plans to become a welcoming space once again. I spoke with Carver board members reminiscing over their times as students, and it's the memories of their past that are shaping the future of this building.
We used to have Friday night called Teen Town downstairs in the gym.
It's a rundown building that has clearly seen better days.
We had duties for patrolmen as we got older to help kids cross the streets in the neighborhood.
The school opened in 1937 with a dedication from influential agricultural scientist George Washington Carver.
Yeah, those are things that you look back and they seem so simple at the time.
Former students like Barbara Black still cherish the memories they made in the halls to this day.
The fact that it's coming out of the birth of a Carver school and the property thereof that stayed here for many years that have give us our start in life. I think it's going to be awesome.
George Washington Carver Cultural Center board members say that the renovations at this historic school will provide much needed affordable living options for Fulton senior citizens.
Although the rooms and desks of the school may be empty now, there is potential for a one-of-a-kind class reunion.
There are people calling me now. When that place is done, I want to come back to Carver School. I want an apartment in that school. 85 years old, they want to come be a part of this. 80 years old, they want to come because it has such incredible memories for them.
You see the smile on my face because it was a community of love. The teachers were they cared about us. They cared about the students. It was family oriented.
Developers say they expect to begin construction this fall, and there should be around 33 units for seniors 55 and older. Rent will range between $300 and $700 a month. New basketball goals and scoreboards are just a couple of changes coming to the park. Columbia City Council accepted a $50,000 donation from Veterans United Foundation to renovate the basketball courts. City officials hope the renovations will attract more visitors.
Douglas Park is a historic spot in Columbia for many residents. It's the home of the Moonlight Hoops tournament every summer. Tournaments like this are what the Columbia Parks and Recreation Department say keep this area popular.
This is really a key access for basketball courts in our community. We've got some up the street at Agan Street Park and a couple other close locations, but as we talk about the central area of Columbia, those basketball courts really serve a need for the community.
But according to city officials and residents, Douglas Park is in need of an upgrade. The city plans to resurface the courts and install new goals, scoreboards, and build a shelter. Basketball coach Dean Barry says these improvements will give more kids a chance to come out and play ball.
Well, Douglas is a special place downtown, and there's a need for that there. You know, this place is great, but it's a long hike out here.
Residents say that these renovations could provide a much-needed facelift to a beloved community center.
Basketball player Nevaeh Jenkins is excited about these upgrades.
It'll make the community better, so people actually trust this place to play here.
Jenkins hopes cleaning up this area will create a safe space for her to keep playing a sport that she loves.
Community input meetings will start in a few months, and the city expects construction to begin around October. In the studio, Austin Wright, KOMU 8 News.